Muammar Gaddafi was one of the most controversial and long-serving leaders of Libya. He ruled the country from 1969 to 2011, shaping its politics, economy, and global image for over 4 decades. First, early life and background. Muammar Gaddafi was born on June 7, 1942, in a desert region near Sirte, Libya. He came from a poor Bedouin nomadic family. His parents were not wealthy, and their lifestyle was simple, relying mainly on herding animals. Growing up in the desert had a strong influence on Gaddafi's personality. He developed a deep connection with Arab identity and culture. Even later in life, when he became a powerful leader, he often preferred living in a traditional tent rather than luxurious palaces. From a young age, Gaddafi showed interest in politics. He was inspired by Arab nationalism and strongly influenced by Egyptian leader Gamal Abdel Nasser. Nasser's ideas about unity, independence, and resistance to Western influence shaped Gaddafi's ideology. Second, education and military career. Gaddafi completed his early education in Libya and later joined the military academy in Benghazi. During his time in the military, he became deeply involved in political discussions and began organizing like-minded officers. He secretly formed a group called the Free Officers Movement, inspired by similar movements in Egypt. Their main goals were to overthrow the monarchy, to remove foreign influence, and to establish a nationalist government. This group would later play a crucial role in changing Libya's history. Third, the 1969 coup d'état. On September 1, 1969, at the age of just 27, Gaddafi led a military coup against King Idris I. The coup was almost bloodless and highly organized. At the time, King Idris was outside the country, which made it easier for the officers to take control. After the coup, the monarchy was abolished, Libya was declared a republic, and Gaddafi became the country's main leader. Although he did not always hold formal titles like president, he remained the real power behind the government. Fourth, political system and governance. Gaddafi introduced a unique political system called Jamahiriya, which means state of the masses. He claimed that power belonged directly to the people. In theory, citizens participated in local councils and committees. However, in practice, Gaddafi maintained strong control over all major decisions. His rule is often described as authoritarian, meaning limited political freedom, no strong opposition allowed, and strict control over media and government. Fifth, economic and social policies. Gaddafi made major changes to Libya's economy, especially in the oil sector. Key economic actions: nationalized oil resources, reduced foreign control, and used oil revenue for public welfare. Social improvements: free education and healthcare, improved housing and infrastructure, higher living standards compared to many African countries. However, despite these improvements, wealth distribution and corruption remained concerns. The Green Book and ideology. Gaddafi wrote a political book called The Green Book. In this book, he presented his own ideology, which combined elements of socialism, criticism of capitalism, and a new concept of direct democracy. The book was widely promoted in Libya and became part of the education system. International relations and controversies. Gaddafi had a complicated relationship with the rest of the world. There were conflicts with the West, tensions with the United States and Europe, accusations of supporting militant groups, and economic sanctions imposed on Libya. Later changes. In the early 2000s, Gaddafi changed his approach, improved relations with Western countries, abandoned weapons of mass destruction programs, and rejoined the global community. Personal life and unique traits. Gaddafi was known for his unusual lifestyle and personality. He wore colorful and elaborate outfits, lived in a Bedouin-style tent even during foreign visits, and maintained an all-female bodyguard unit. He had several children, and his son Saif al-Islam Gaddafi was involved in politics. Arab Spring and Civil War. In 2011, a wave of uprisings known as the Arab Spring spread across the Middle East and North Africa. In Libya, protests began against Gaddafi's rule, and the situation escalated into a civil war. NATO intervened, airstrikes supported rebel forces. Fall and death. By October 2011, Gaddafi's power had collapsed. He attempted to flee, but was captured by rebel fighters near his hometown, Sirte. On October 20, 2011, Gaddafi was killed. His 42-year rule came to an end. Legacy and historical impact. Gaddafi's legacy remains highly debated. Positive aspects included improved education and healthcare, a strong national identity, and economic growth from oil. Negative aspects included authoritarian rule, human rights violations, and political repression. Conclusion. Muammar Gaddafi was a complex and polarizing figure. He transformed Libya in many ways, but ruled with tight control and limited freedom. In simple terms, he was a leader who tried to reshape his country and the Arab world, but his methods and long rule made him one of the most controversial figures in modern history. This video tells the story of Muammar Gaddafi, the longtime leader of Libya, who ruled for over 40 years. From his rise to power, through a military coup, to his unique political ideas and controversial rule, we explore his life, leadership, and dramatic fall during the Arab Spring in 2011. A brief and simple overview for learning and knowledge, you sent.